Hi, I hope you're doing great and having a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. I have an update and an explanatory video on semi-automatic robots with a focus on the Paris robot. I'm creating a separate one for the Tokyo robot, but this video can be really helpful for those who purchase our semi-automatic robots. I'll provide additional details about the robot settings and financial indicators. Our semi-automatic robots work on all charts and time frames in Forex and cryptocurrencies, with some exceptions explained here. We suggest using semi-automatic robots on time frames longer than 15 minutes for better accuracy. You can backtest the robot and trade on shorter time frames if results are positive. Before you watch this video, I recommend that you check out the main video on the Paris robot explaining its use. Our semi-automatic robots work on all charts and time frames in Forex and cryptocurrencies, with some exceptions explained here, including a new one. However, we suggest using the semi-automatic robots on time frames longer than 15 minutes for better accuracy. You can also backtest the robot, and if positive results are found on shorter time frames, you can trade them. Based on our experience, that's our recommendation. Ultimately, the decision is yours, but we recommend using the semi-automatic robots for better accuracy. That's our suggestion based on experience. After purchase, find it in invite only. Start to add to favorites. Adding Paris robot shows risk to reward model for risk management. Default ratio is 1.5 for buying and selling. It's an invite only. Adding Paris robot shows risk to reward model for risk management. Default ratio is 1.5 for buying and selling. Risk to reward is profit to loss ratio. If losing $10, a 1.5 risk means making $15. Profit should exceed loss for standard risk management. 1-to-1 ratio is good unless high win rate or own strategy. Default is 1.5. Ask for confirmation. Editable in settings. Hit apply to activate. Profit is several times loss. If making $10, risk leads to break even. Profit on trade means making $15. Our profit must exceed our loss. A 1-to-1 ratio is fine unless you have a high win rate or a personal strategy. We've set it to 1.5 by default. It can be edited in settings. When the robot is added to the chart, switch to Heiken Ashi candles. These candles reduce market noise, making entry points precise, leading to higher win rates and profits. Check these charts now in Forex or commodities like gold and silver, or on forex.com, and you'll see no trades will open. When adding the robot to the chart, switch to Heiken Ashi candles. Robots perform best on these candles, reducing market noise and improving entry precision, leading to higher win rates and profits. Note an exception. Some charts, like Forex or commodities, may not open trades. My strategy tester shows no orders generated, meaning no orders were opened during testing. This issue affects the Paris robot and others, like the banking strategy, where a surprise symbol or error may appear due to broker connection issues. As I mentioned, there's an exception with some charts. If you check them now in Forex or commodities, you'll see no trades open for us. The tester shows the strategy did not generate any orders, meaning no orders opened during testing. This issue isn't just with the Paris robot. It also occurs with others. You might see a surprise symbol or error message. This is because the broker sometimes closes the connection. And in my strategy tester, this strategy did not generate any orders during testing, meaning that during the time period you tested, no orders were opened. This also affects the Paris robot. It happens with other robots, such as banking. Sometimes, you might see a surprise symbol or an error message. Brokers sometimes disconnect. Forex.com closed custom indicators, robots, and strategies. Charts like Zayist show the same gold price globally. Wanda is known for consistent charts. Gold is $19 globally on all charts. Forex.com. They've blocked indicators, robots, and strategies on their charts. The reason is unclear. It's a new issue. However, if you check charts like Zayist, the gold price is consistent globally. To resolve this, use different brokers when searching for your symbol. If you face this in Forex, you might notice similar issues. For instance, the pound to dollar might work on Forex.com, but not here with indicators. These restrictions are company imposed and don't affect robot performance. We've added the robot to the page, and it works on regular candles. It performs well, even on higher time frames. On higher time frames, performance remains positive, around 7%. Performance improves with Heiken Ashi candles, selectable here. Companies impose restrictions unrelated to the robot's performance. We've added the robot to the page. It works well on regular candles, achieving around 7% performance. Many achieve 7% without leverage, and with leverage, they might get 100% or more in Forex. Performance improves with Heiken Ashy candles selectable here. Let's move to robot settings. You've seen the performance. Now, let's check the settings. Hover over the robot's name. To enlarge it, click to see settings, starting with risk management. For buy positions, set 2 risk to reward ratios. Backtest results change on the chart. For example, it shows 7% profit without leverage. With 100 leverage, it could be 700% profit in a 15-minute time frame. Move to the robot settings. You've seen the performance. To explore the settings, I'll select the robot's name to expand. Clicking the robot's name shows the settings. The first part is risk management. Observe. For buy positions, set 2 numbers for risk ratios to alter backtest results on the chart. Currently shows 7% or 7.6%. Indicates profit without leverage. With 100 leverage, 700% profit in 15 minutes. Increase risk ratio. Change risk ratio for buying from 1.5 to 2. It increased to 2. Strategy tester shows 8.1% profit. Reset risk ratio to 1.5 to check difference. Strategy tester shows 6.46, indicating a drop. Find optimal point. Adjust risk to reward from 1.5 to 2, profit rises. Reset to 1.5, profit drops. Robot simplifies backtesting. Short position risk to reward set to 3. Adjust the risk-to-reward ratio to 2.5 to observe changes. It changed to 6.46, slightly lowering it. Consider the robot's aid in quick backtesting. For instance, it opened a short position, prompting us to raise the risk-to-reward ratio, set it to 3, and observe the decrease affecting results. Just think about how much this robot is helping us with quick backtesting. Those who have done backtesting know it's a very complex task. For example, here it opened a short position and we want to raise the risk to reward ratio. For all short positions, I want to set it to 3 and you can see it went down here. This will also have its impact. Whenever you want to reset to the default settings, you can hit the reset settings button at the bottom and everything will go back to what it was on day 1, which is the robot's default. Now, regarding how it finds the stop loss, it sets it to 1-to-1 or whatever it needs to be for the target. As a result, its own impact. It resets everything to default settings. How to find stop loss. It uses the previous swing, looking at the last drop. How far back? By default, it goes back 5 candles. What means? From entry point, it looks back at the last 5 candles, becomes high. Places stop loss there, target down to 1-to-1. What do? We set this to 20, okay. Let's see what happens. The stop loss is determined based on the previous swing, meaning the last drop. But how many candles? Does it look back? By default, it goes back 5 candles. What does that mean? It means that from the point where it entered, it looks back at the last 5 candles, and that becomes the high. So, it places the stop loss there, and it brings the target down to 1-to-1. Now, what do? We set this to 20, okay. And see what happens to it. I think this was my base candle. I'm going to set it to, let's say, 50 to make a change. So it became 50. When I blink, it means it's loading. Sometimes this happens because of weak internet. It can take the last 50 candles and set it to 1-to-1. The target was set here, and this is where the short position was entered. The target is marked here. That's all about the stop losses. So the stop loss amount is adjustable based on the previous swing high that we've determined to be optimal, which is 5. You can do a simple test across different widths and time frames to get results. This is the default setting. Test it based on your trading width and time frame. Now let's discuss risk-free. Test and find it, reset it, and paint it again. We said we'd get to the interesting topic of risk-free trading. Let me reset the settings once and then we'll dive into risk-free trading. Sometimes a position that hits the stop loss can still go into profit for a while, but it doesn't reach the final target. Like these 2 positions. 2 positions hit the stop loss consecutively. We prefer breaking even over hitting a stop loss. Thus, we introduced a white line showing the risk-free option. When reached, it moves the stop loss to the entry point, covering commission, ensuring break even. This position also rose by 50%. Our goal is to avoid stop losses, preferring to break even. We introduced a white line in positions to show when you hit the risk-free option, reaching break even. Normally, a position hits the target or stop loss. We move the stop loss to the entry point at the risk-free line, ensuring break even. This feature adjusts automatically. Initially, it might rise 50%, reducing losses but also big profits. Instead of hitting the stop loss, it hits the target. Before the target, you could exit at break even. This is a feature in our robot. Positions hit target or stop loss. Our approach. At risk-free, stop loss moves to entry plus commission. Option adjusts. This one entered and rose by 50%. Less loss, reduced profits. Hits target, not stop loss. Exit at break even before target. Personality-based feature. Example, entered short. Robot found 2 good shorts, both hit target. Didn't enter because default. Wait for previous signal. Wait for signal to resolve. Fewer losses, but miss big wins. When, instead of hitting stop loss, it hits target. Before target, exit at break even. Depends on personality, but this feature is added to robot. Another interesting thing. For example, here it entered short. Robot found 2 other good shorts. Both hit target, but didn't enter. Why? By default, settings wait for previous signal to finish before new one, meaning waiting for previous signal to resolve, hit target, or stop loss. It entered a short position here. By default, settings require waiting for the previous signal to finish before a new one. If you uncheck that option, new signals will come in, and it will enter again. Right now, it entered here, here, and here. I can show more examples later, but it reacts to every signal and doesn't just wait. Then, 5 or 6 by signals came in. Uncheck to allow immediate signal entry. Check to wait for previous signal resolution. Try different time frames. It has entered here. The colors are due to TradingView's limitations, but it has entered. It reacts to every signal. 2 sell signals came in, and it entered both. Then, 5 or 6 buy signals came in, and it entered all. If I choose to wait until the previous signal is resolved, it will ignore the rest. I've already entered a position. On this time frame, you can try different frames and take positions with the robot, adjusting settings as needed. We are constantly improving the robot to enhance its features and flexibility. Everything is entered, but if I check the option and say, no, wait for the previous signal, it will. Ignore others and say, I've already entered a position, so I'm not doing anything else. Remember, on this width and time frame, you can try different frames. You can take positions with the robot on other frames, but you can take positions with the robot. We've been working on these points as developers constantly, improving the robot to enhance features and flexibility. We work on the robots daily and weekly, updating them, leading to the features you see. There's a dashboard with explanations on the risk-reward ratio and similar concepts. Click on this dashboard for more information. We have a surprise for those who want to turn the semi-automatic into fully automatic. For now, we've put a note saying coming soon. There's another thing. We have a dashboard to input risk ratio. Click Dashboard to view info. Keep it if desired. Surprise for upgrading to fully automatic. Are coming soon. There's a time frame for backtesting, where you can specify the dates for the backtest. To backtest 2 months, input year, month, day to see results. Finally, shows long or short position, e.g., take only long positions. Remove short position to see effect. No longer takes them, just displays. Not in backtest, no entry/exit with arrows. Shows position due to command. Set start and end dates for backtesting. For a 2-month test, enter dates in the Gregorian calendar. To see results, it shows if you took long or short positions. Choosing only long positions excludes shorts from the backtest. This feature is desktop only. Large tablets may not display this page or open it in a browser. So, for example, if I say only take long positions and not the shorts, when I remove the short position, let's see what happens. It won't take those anymore. It's just displaying them. It's not bringing them into the backtest, nor is it entering or exiting with these arrows. It's just showing that there was such a position because you gave the command not to take it. Let's reset default settings and discuss financial indicators. This feature is only on the desktop version. On large mobile devices, like tablets, you might not see this page. TradingView sets up the robot for you, but it doesn't always work. The main chart shows indicators: net profit, total profit, 235 trades, and a 49.79 win rate. The profit factor, or risk-to-reward ratio, is displayed. My risk-to-reward ratio is 1.5 or 1.3 at times. TradingView calculates drawdown, profit in dollars, and how many candles are left left in trades. For more info, click the eye icon. It doesn't let that happen. We have a main chart that tells us a lot of indicators, like net profit, which is the total profit, the number of trades, which is 235, and the win rate, which is 49.79. The profit factor, which is the risk-to-reward ratio, has also been achieved. That's right, my risk-to-reward ratio is 1.5, but it has also been 1.3 at times, achieved over time. TradingView calculates things like the 2% drawdown, profit in dollars and percentage, and remaining candles in trades. For more information, click the eye icon next to it. It'll bring up a brief explanation, and for more details, select the performance summary, like net profit, and click the question mark for a scientific explanation. This part is private, and you don't need to know all of it. You can read it yourself. It might be too much for the video if I cover everything. However, the list of trades is useful with an Excel export feature. It shows the list of trades, including the date, week, and hour of the first trade. For instance, it's been about a month and 20 days since the last trade. It shows 235 trades with explanations about signals, dates, prices, entry and exit points, profit, compound profit, maximum and minimum drawdown, and other indicators. The Excel export feature is available. This section lists trades and includes an Excel export feature. It shows trade details like date, week, and hour. For example, it's been about a month and 20 days since the last trade. We've completed 235 trades with explanations on signals, dates, prices, entry and exit points, profit, compound profit, and drawdowns, plus indicators. The Excel export is available. A properties section lists backtest settings, tick-based or 15-minute candle, currency, tick size, and backtest range. You can see the settings we applied and check the robot settings in the properties section. Executed 235 trades, signals, dates, prices, profit, drawdown, Excel export available. Properties list backtest settings, tick-based/15-min candle. See settings applied, specify backtest capital, default $100,000, full engagement per trade, not ideal for management. Robot performance set to default, change to $1,000 or other amount. There's a properties section listing details like the backtest settings, whether it was tick-based or 15-minute candle, currency, tick size, and backtest range dates. You can see the settings we apply. Specify your backtest capital. Default is $100,000, engaging fully in each trade. To see robot performance, I set it to default. You can change this, for example, to $1,000 and set order size to 20% per trade or a specific dollar amount. For instance, with $1,000, backtest with $40 per trade. Let me bring this up again. Specify your backtest capital. By default, it's $100,000. You can change this, for example, to my capital is $1,000 or any other amount. Set order size to 20% per trade, a certain number of contracts, or a specific dollar amount. For instance, with $1,000, backtest with $40 per trade. In settings, change $100,000 to $1,000. I want the order size to be 20% per trade, or a certain number of contracts, or a specific dollar amount. For example, if I have $1,000, I want to backtest with $40 per trade, and this will yield completely different results. So if you notice, let me bring this up for you again. From the settings section, you can change that $100,000 to $1,000. Oh, sorry, this should actually be $100,000. Let me switch to Bitcoin because this is a Forex thing, and the tick size is different for that. For example, on Bitcoin, you can change this, and if I set it to $1,000, my profit would be the same 27% in dollars, and you can also change the percentage, like saying, I want to enter with 20% for each trade, and it will show you that here. It brings it all together. Entering with $20 lowers profit. A parameter lets you stack orders for signals in a row. Set pyramid settings to 2 or 3 for stacked orders. It's not changing now because I didn't check this box. But if I do and pyramid trading is active, profit changes. No opportunities now, but the concept is entering with stacked orders with this capital. I suggest not using pyramid trading. Set pyramid settings to 2 or 3 for stacking orders. It's not changing now because I didn't check this box. If checked and pyramid trading is active, profit changes. Keeping it tight varies compared to setting it to 6. No opportunities in this time frame mean no change here, but the idea is to enter with. Now, since those situations haven't happened in this time frame, it won't change in that interval, but the meaning is exactly the same, even if several stack orders are entered with this amount of capital. I don't suggest that you use pyramiding. You can set the commission to take a percentage of your profit, like 400% or 4,000%. Just keep in mind that it applies to each individual trade. If you want to divide it by 2, you can set that here. And you can also adjust the take price, slippage, and things like that. Don't mess with the other settings unless you want more detailed information. You can read the explanations for those settings. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this long video. I hope my explanations have been helpful. Until the next video, take care.